Hi everyone, this is Mig from archived.ph, and today we have a detailed look and review on the Nike Dunk Low Medium Curry. To start things off, if you followed the channel really closely, you'd notice that we had a little bit of change of scenery, and this is because it was getting kind of cramped in the room I shared with my brother, so I went and moved my setup to the bedroom. It still isn't as nice as I would prefer, so there might be a few more edits here and there, but for the most part, I think it does look good, so please leave a comment down below if you like the new look of the studio, and if you have any suggestions for the background or for the lighting or whatnot, leave it in the comment section down below as well. But anyway, here we have the Nike Dunk Low in the medium curry colorway, and it's actually pretty interesting how hyped up the Nike Dunks are right now, because this is a shoe that has been around since 1985 and has had its fair share of ups and downs. The Nike Dunk was unveiled in 1985, just a few months after the Air Jordan 1, and it was actually supposed to be called the College Color High. Just by coincidence, the proposed release date of the College Color High was at the anniversary of the first ever slam dunk, which led them to change the name to the Nike Dunk. I am really thankful that they chose to do so, because College Color High definitely doesn't roll off the tongue as nicely as Nike Dunk. The Nike Dunk was originally intended to be a college hoop shoe, which is why they had the whole Be True to Your School campaign, where they dropped these in all of the college colorways. He had colorways for teams like UNLV, Michigan, Iowa, Kentucky, Syracuse, and a lot of other schools as well. This was definitely such a good marketing plan, because if there's anything I know about schools, is that a lot of the athletes, the students, and the alumni of the schools really wear their school colors loud and proud. The Nike Dunk was definitely super popular in the 1980s, both as a basketball shoe and a skateboarding shoe. It really started to become more of a skating shoe and a lifestyle shoe once the 90s rolled around, because the cushion on the Nike Dunk is pretty basic. It did make a good skateboarding shoe though, because you have that traction pattern that's inspired by the Air Jordan 1, a stable rubber cup sole, and excellent durability. Then once the 2000s rolled around, the Nike Dunk had a little bit less hype than it used to have, because Jordan Retro started becoming hot. This did however give rise to the Nike SB Dunk, which is a slightly modified version of the Nike Dunk, but this time with a few tweaks to make it better for skateboarding. In the 2000s, even though the original Nike Dunk wasn't as popular as it once was, the popularity of the Nike SB Dunk soared. Then fast forward to the 2010s, and you could kind of say that the Nike Dunk and the Nike SB Dunk were starting to lose their shimmer. But as you often see in fashion, it's kind of like a cycle, so even though in the 2010s the Nike SB Dunk and the Nike Dunk were pretty dead, so to speak, in 2020 and 2021, it seems like these will be the years of the Dunk. All of the recent Nike Dunk and Nike SB Dunk colorways have really been selling out like crazy, and there are some of them that are fetching crazy prices on the resale market. I really don't think that the price when it comes to the Nike Dunks and the Nike SB Dunks is warranted, because these are a 5,000 to 6,000 peso shoe, or somewhere within the $100 range, and these are reselling for almost 20,000 pesos or $400 US, so sometimes you just have to ask yourself, like, is it really worth paying that much? But moving on to the tech specs on the shoe, since this is still technically a shoe that you can skateboard in, you have that really grippy outsole that's almost the same as the traction on the Jordan 1. And then for the cushion, there really isn't much going on, because you have a full-length rubber cup sole. This is definitely not the most comfortable shoe, but if you like a really stable and low-to-the-ground feel, then this definitely checks those boxes. Then for the materials, this is actually where I was pretty surprised, especially with this medium curry colorway, because the materials that they used on this shoe are just super premium and super soft to the touch, and it just really makes me question Nike, because if you can make a $110 shoe have materials this nice, then why do you sell shoes that are $180 to $200 US that have pretty shitty materials? But going back to the shoe, for the materials on the upper, it's almost all suede, but there are some slight differences in the panels that they used. This rand that wraps around the toe, as well as this ankle collar piece, have this really nice and long-haired suede, plus you also have it here on the heel tab. Then for all of the white portions here at the heel, here at the midfoot, and at the top of the toe, as well as the Nike swoosh, you have a short-haired suede. Then rounding off the materials on the upper, you have a nice and soft nylon tongue and a nicely padded mesh sock liner. All the materials on the shoe feel very soft, and I was really surprised when I took these out of the box, because I really didn't expect these shoes coming in at $110 US to have such good quality materials. The only downside is that the suede is white, so if you get dirty, then good luck to cleaning these. But while you keep it fresh like this, it just looks super premium, and I just really am amazed, because I did see other Dunk Lows and other Dunk Highs as well, and they don't have nearly the same quality as these two. Then for fit and sizing, being that this is a Nike Dunk and not a Nike SB Dunk, I went down half a size. Since I went down half a size and the materials are so soft, it fit me perfectly well. So my recommendation for the sizing on the Nike Dunk Low is that if you have a narrow foot or a normal width foot, go down half a size. Then if you have a wide foot or you just want a more loose fit on your casual shoes, you should definitely go true to size. It is important to note that this is a Nike Dunk, so if you were going for a Nike SB Dunk since that has more padding, I definitely would recommend going true to size or up half a size on those. Then for the aesthetic details, it is pretty simple and pretty clean. You have that brown solid rubber outsole with that Air Jordan 1 traction pattern. You have Nike branding in the middle of the outsole. Then on the midsole, that cup sole is this really nice white. And then on the upper, you have a mixture of medium curry, sail, and fossil white. For the portions with that medium curry brown, you have it here on the toe round, here on the ankle collar, here on the lacing, and the sock liner. You also have that brown on the Nike branding here on the tongue, as well as that stitched in Nike here at the heel. Then for the white accents, you have it here on the toe, midfoot, and heel, and on the nylon tongue and tongue tab as well. Then for the sail portions, you have it on the Nike swoosh, both on the lateral and medial side, as well as that heel tab at the back. For the laces, I'm not actually sure if I consider this white, but it does seem like a cream color. So I'm not sure if that was intended to be like that, or maybe it's because my lighting, or maybe I'm just colorblind. So I'm just not sure if it's white, or if it's cream, or if it's sail, but it is pretty light colored, and it matches the shoe pretty well. Then for the overall aesthetics, I think this shoe does look really good, and over time it has really grown on me because I'm not a big fan of shoes with brown on them. Because I think of all the shoes I have, I probably just have around 1 or 2 pairs of shoes that have brown, because it really isn't a color I'm fond of. Although I do understand that brown seems to be the new thing because, you know, the Travis Scotts are brown, and then you had the mochas that came out a while ago, plus you have the upcoming taupe haze Air Jordan 4, which people have been hyping up a lot. So I think with this color blocking, a lot of people love this shoe. My favorite detail would definitely have to be this tab at the back because of that furry sail suede, as well as that stitched in Nike branding. I also really love the nylon tongue because when you see a tongue like that, you think of Nike Dunk, you think of Air Jordan 1, which just really gives that classic Nike look. Then for the price, these do retail for 5,895 pesos here in the Philippines, or 110 US dollars. However, these did sell out like hotcakes, and they're in the hands of a lot of resellers now, and they're charging somewhere between 18,000 to 20,000 for these, which is quite crazy, and that does equate to around 380 to 400 US dollars, which for a shoe that was originally $110 is really quite the markup. I highly discourage everyone from buying these on the resale market because I think that the price might go down in a few months. But as much as possible, if you can't get them for retail, get them as close to the retail price as you can. I was able to get my pair because of a raffle over at Commonwealth. If you want to be able to get a pair of Nike Dunks for retail, then Commonwealth is a good place to try, as well as Titan, because let's be honest, getting a win in Nike sneakers is next to impossible. Like, I try almost every week, and I've been trying for the past year, and I really have less wins on Nike sneakers than I have fingers on my hand. So there you have it, guys. That was my detailed look and unboxing on the Nike Dunk Low Medium Curry. But don't stop watching just yet because I do have some shoes that I'd want to show you, and I got those shoes over at archived.ph because even though I do like this shoe, I didn't want this to be the first Nike Dunk in my collection, so I went over to their store because there's a pair that I've been wanting for a really long time, and I'm so glad that I got them. So I actually got 2 pairs from them, even though I originally planned just 1, but they did give me such a steal deal on the second one, so I really couldn't turn it down. So the first shoe that I got would be the Nike Dunk High Hoop Orange, and this is actually a 10.5, which means it's a little bit big for me, but they did sell it to me for around 5,000 pesos or $100, which is quite a steal given that these are going on StockX for like $800. Since this shoe is pretty hard to find given that it was from the 2007 Nike ad campaign, which featured the NBA stars at the time like Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, Paul Pierce, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. And it's cool that you can see their silhouettes on the insole because that ad campaign was just one of the most iconic ones in my memory. And plus, I'm a sucker for orange, so this was kind of just super tempting. As well as the material quality on these because the leathers and the suedes are super soft. Plus you have that really cool interwoven basket. Plus you have that really cool interwoven textile midfoot panel. Then for the shoe that I really went to archived.ph for, it's actually this pair of Nike SB Dunk Highs. And it's actually really shiny and reflecting a lot of the light, so sorry to be blinding you guys. But this is the Nike SB Dunk High Eric Coston Thigh Temple. And this is just a shoe that when I saw it on their site, I was immediately drawn to it. Because for one, I do like pretty loud shoes, and going with a thigh temple theme and having all of that gold, you can't really get much louder than this. It also is a piece of SB Dunk history because Eric Coston was a pretty popular skateboarder back in the day, and the shoe was made to commemorate his Thailand roots because it does have those temple colors as well as this sort of elephant Buddha on the insole, which I find really cool. It was also quite a steal given that this is a perfectly maintained pair from 2010, so I really do want to give a big thanks to archived.ph. And if you have some grails that it's been taking you ages to find, you might just find it on their site. I'll be leaving links to their Instagram as well as their website in the description box down below, so go check them out. So that's pretty much it for these as well. So if you liked the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Then if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then also make sure to join the SNBPH Sneaker Hunters Facebook group because that is where I'll be conducting my monthly giveaways. Then if you haven't already yet, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications. It would help us out a lot here at Sneaks and Ball PH.